Thanks for joining me for another video. My name is Sean and I'm a registered dietitian. Today I want to make a quick juicing video for you with my Kuvings C7000. And then when I'm done, I want to talk a little bit about the picking out a juicer and the benefits of juicing. I was really surprised recently when I went shopping for juicers again, how expensive they've become, how complex they've become. And I feel like a lot of the videos online have been pushing the Nama J2 as the best juicer. This is what you have to have. And then a comparable juicer would be the Hurom 320 or the 330, basically the exact same juicer. And even some of the Kuvings juicers that are the self-feeding auto hoppers, similar to the Nama J2, are just so expensive. You could spend $500, $600, $700 on these. I got this brand new on Facebook Marketplace for $220, and right now it retails for $450. So even though it's pretty expensive, all things considered, it's not nearly as expensive as some of the other juicers. And I am blown away by how easy, fast, convenient, simple this is to use, and how great the quality of the juice is, that I just don't feel the need to spend more money on a juicer. And I hope watching this video that I can help convince you that you may not need to spend $500 or $600 on a juicer, or feel like if I don't get the Nama J2, my life is over. That's the only juicer that's right for me. This is a fabulous juicer here, and there's other juicers on the market that are great. Honestly, I started out with the Breville Juice Fountain Elite, and I'm a huge fan of them, although a lot of people now are poo-pooing the centrifugal juicers, which use a basket with blades that spins at approximately 14,000 RPMs. So the thought process is, when you have something that spins that fast, it's high heating the juice and it's degrading the nutrients. But I will say, all things considered, if you're juicing, you're doing something great for your health. I don't think that whether you use a high-speed juicer or a slow juicer like you'll see with this one, this is what we call an auger or a masticating style juicer, and this helps preserve some of the nutrients. Yes, I do believe that slow juicers are better in terms of producing juice quality than the centrifugal high-speed juicers. However, depending on your budget, you know, something like a centrifugal juicer is still great to get. I've also used other slow juicers that were really inconvenient to use, but this has been fabulous. I'm gonna make a juice real quick here because I wanna show you how quick and easy it is to make a juice with this juicer, to show you you don't need a hopper auto feeding style juicer like the Nama J2 to make a fabulous juice in a short amount of time. I've got my son right here, and so I've been able to find time as a dad to fit in my health through juicing, through smoothies, making it a priority. So I've got a lot of reasons not to fit health into my life, but I want to show you and be an example that even if you've got kids, you could still find time to make a great juice. So let's do this real quick. Today we've got some carrot, some celery, lemon, ginger, apple, and beet. This is a pretty solid recipe here. I can even add in like an eighth of a teaspoon of turmeric. So one of the initial complaints with not having those sort of hopper auto feeding juicers is that it just takes too long to prep. Now this has a 3.5 inch chute. I can fit this whole apple in here, but I'm just gonna cut it into quarters. I don't think that a little bit of prep is the end of the world. You'll see here that in less than 60 seconds, I can prep all the ingredients for this juice. Some of the long stringy stuff, like the beet greens or your celery, you're gonna wanna cut into pieces so they're not super long. But most other stuff can just get fit in whole. You will wanna cut these carrots. I cut them lengthwise. There's a Kuvings how-to juicing video, and they show the importance of cutting them lengthwise. It makes it easier for the juicer to break it down than if you chop them widthwise. I watched a lot of videos on you know, Hurom and the Nama J's, and you know, they have people throwing in whole ingredients. You can do a lot of that with this too, but I really want this to last a while. I don't want to blow out the motor because I'm too lazy to cut up a few pieces of vegetables. Even with this, I'll cut them widthwise, and you'll see this thing can handle it no problem. It just it's just easier when you cut them widthwise or lengthwise. So in what, a matter of just a minute or two, I can cut up all the vegetables that I need. This beet I'm gonna cut into quarters. Always be careful cutting up fruits and vegetables when you have a small child around. He's doing just fine. Cool, so that was it in the prep. That's what the Nama J promises to save you, is 90 seconds of cutting up some vegetables. I actually think of preparing my juice and using a juicer like this, where you have to feed it, as almost a meditative or a therapeutic process. This is part of the experience. If your life is so busy that you just need to throw this into a bucket and go off and do something, then I'm gonna take a look at what some of my other priorities are, because juicing and your health, you deserve to spend time on yourself and your health. And so I enjoy that process. Because this has a 3-inch chute, it's really easy to throw in different ingredients. You can put whole lemon in. The nice thing about this juicer is it does almost auto feed itself in a way. You can put in individual ingredients and it will, for the most part, there's a little fin in here that helps break up the apples, kind of cuts them in half when you shove them in. But for the most part, most smaller items can just go right in. I mean, this is very convenient to use. Put that little ginger root in there, finish up putting these beet stems. I've been able to make a half gallon of juice in 7 minutes with this, so I don't see how another juicer is gonna save me a significant amount of time. This is still super fast, despite being called a slow juicer. But you can, so like right there, I put in too many carrots and apples at once, so it'll back up. You just hit reverse and then forward again. And there you go. It's really not an inconvenience. Some people would say, oh, that's why you should get the other expensive juicers. They won't do that. And it's like, not a big deal. I'm not gonna spend another $300 because it's too inconvenient to hit the reverse button. Just take your time with it, you know? I'm doing this a little bit quicker than normally because I know as a viewer, you've got a lot of different videos you may want to watch, but you can take your time with this and do other things. "10 minutes and I made about 35 ounces of juice. My other kid likes drinking this stuff too. It's pretty wild. It's very refreshing. You can taste the celery. The beet's not too strong. I used probably more celery than I would normally, only because I'm gonna go and get more vegetables. Probably make another juice later to combine with it, but it's still really good. It's really refreshing. The ginger comes through nicely. You can see I made a huge quart in 10 minutes. I've got a little bit of cleanup to do. I'll take this and I'll compost this. Sometimes I'll turn it into other food products, bake with it and stuff, but this one I'll probably just compost. But I really wanted to touch on how fast that was, how convenient that is. The only thing that I would say, because I haven't used the Nama J2, one of the claims is that the juice quality is superb. A lot of juicer, I don't even know, juicer influencers, people that have primarily juicing channels on YouTube, will say about how pulp-free and smooth the juice is. This is relatively pulp-free. Compared to a smoothie that would have all of this fiber in it and all this pulp, this is very smooth. Are you getting a product that is completely residue-free like you would from, let's say, the store? Or if you put a fine mesh strainer through this? No. You'll still get a little bit of residue from this, but it's not chunky. It doesn't take away from the juicing experience. It doesn't make this juice less tasty. There's some, I'm gonna call them juice snobs online that will say, oh, I could taste the grittiness. I could taste the pulp in the juice. And it's, for me, it's just a non-issue. I'm not going to spend 2 or 3 times the amount to get a juice that's a little bit thinner. But if that's something that is really important to you, you can spend more money. Like I said, this is the Kuvings C7000. This model came out, I believe, 9 years ago. They still make it though. It's got a 240 watt motor. It spins at 60 RPMs. It's relatively easy to clean. The Breville Juice Fountain Elite was one of the easiest to clean I found, although the Omega J8006 was also exceptionally easy to clean. But the nice thing that you get with this is you get this massive, the new ones come with a little handle that helps remove this. The nice thing about this is it has a huge 3-inch chute, and the newer one, the 830, Revo 830, has a 3¼ or 3½ inch chute, which is massive. This is a 3-inch chute, so you can still stick whole apples in here. This is a full-size apple. You can fit whole lemons, no problem in here. And because it's so wide, you can self-feed it. So this has the benefits, the speed of the Breville Juice Fountain Elite, but it has the quality of the juice that you would get from the Omega. That's why I really like this juicer specifically. It almost does self-feed on its own, just like a self-feeding hopper. It's just sometimes you will need to push things down with the included plunger, but for me, it's not inconvenient. I'll show you that little fin. You can see that little fin in there. I think it's just prevents, like, if you're gonna shove a whole thing in there, having a little break in it might help the auger break it apart a little bit, or just prevents you from sticking something in there that's so big that it just gets kind of stuck. But this has been a fabulous juicer. Like I said, $220. It was new in box on Facebook Marketplace. You can look on eBay, you can look on your local ads and pick up really, really nice juicers without having to shell out all the money. So something like this is just fabulous for your health. You get in a lot of different vitamins and minerals from this for me, this was the gateway to my Vitamix and making smoothies. So when I first started juicing, I lost 30 pounds in 3 months. A lot of people would say, you know, you shouldn't have lost the weight or something like that. I'm 155 pounds now. I feel great. I have a normal BMI, but by getting rid of all the garbage that I was eating and replacing it with juice, I was able to lose some of that extra body fat. I wasn't particularly overweight per se. Someone wouldn't have looked at me and said, "Oh, you're overweight." But I want to point out that if you're moving from a diet with a lot of junk food, a lot of processed stuff, a lot of extra calories, and you start replacing it, like specifically your breakfast, because that's generally the worst meal for most people, with something like a quart of juice, and you can sip on this until lunch, have a nice lunch, have a nice dinner. That, you know, one of the benefits, people can lose weight with juicing, and it also allows you to engage with a lot of different kinds of produce. I never knew what kale was, or beet greens, or mustard greens, or dandelion greens. And so it got me exposed to all the different kinds of produce that exist in the grocery store. And it really was a way to show myself that I care and that I love about myself, that I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna fill my body with nutrients and not just blast my taste buds with mozzarella sticks. So for me, this was the gateway. This is what started it all in becoming a dietitian, was really caring about my health through the juicing. And I hope that this video can help inspire you to not only juice, but to not spend $500 on a juicer. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. If you want to see some videos on the Ninja Creamy, let me know, because that is also fabulous. I've got a delicious peach sorbet recipe and a really, really healthy chocolate ice cream that is no saturated fat, no cholesterol, dairy-free, lactose-free, vegan. It's just, even the neighbors love it, and they are out there grilling, but they'll come over and say, "Hey, you got any of that chocolate ice cream?" The kids love it, and it's super great. It's all whole plant foods. So if you're interested in hearing about that recipe, let me know. Thanks again for watching. Cheers.